sunny day in late July and everything turned upside down.
Morning guys, today we're on the Wilderness Railway, the West Coast Wilderness Railway out of Strawn. It is a half-day tour and it's actually called the, just looking here now, the River Rainforest. It departs at 8:30 and I think it gets back around about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, there's two different classes of seating on there. There's first class and then there's economy. In economy, you have a bench-style type seat. In first class, you have a little table in front of you and you get served food and alcohol. The place opens at 7 in the morning for breakfast, so it gives you an hour to have brekkie. There's a toilet here. There's no toilets on the train, but each station that it stops at, there's toilets. And I've ordered eggs Benny and a cookies and cream milkshake. Ross is having a ham and cheese croissant.
And a coffee.
And a coffee. So when we get outside, we'll show you around the train and we'll take you for a journey with us.
Same map of the line where we go. So guys, we start here in Strawn at Regatta Point. Go all the way around beside Macquarie Harbour. Follow the King River along, and then we turn around on that orange piece.
I almost lost track of time as weeks went by. I couldn't get him off my mind. I told him I want that great love, like standing in the middle of a bonfire. You don't know how you got there, but you hold tight, knowing that you can't get burned. Just tell me how we lost track of everything but each other. I honestly don't know. And tell me how we...
And inside here you've got a little gift shop. I'm coming.
Drifting away from each other, didn't want to let you go. Cause we wanted different things and I have to deal with it, but it's not easy. So tell me how to let go, cause you really seem to know how to carry on your own. Ever since I got a good look in his eyes, I just knew that he was special. He said he wanted to take it slow, but I couldn't help that I wanted to take it to the next level. Cause I wanted that great love, like standing in the middle of a bonfire. You don't know how you got there, but you hold tight, knowing that you can't get burned.
Inside the carriage, pretty cool. This is where Roz and I are sitting. A cool old train. In behind the engine. Map the line. So we're up here in Strawn, Regatta Point. We must go all the way down along here. Turn around and come back. Then when we're in Queenstown, this must be our path that we take.
So guys, we pulled up to Lower Landing for 20 minutes to have a look around. So here we are.
What's idle?
Toot toot.
Hey, Cap.
There you go.
It doesn't work very
Driving boats yesterday, driving trains today.
It wasn't just
It's a tough life.
designed to work hard, but the engine itself
They've got a very long stroke.
Just tell me how we lost track of everything but each other. I honestly don't know. And tell me how we messed up, drifting away from each other. Didn't wanna let you go. Cause we wanted different things and I have to deal with it, but it's not easy. So tell me how to let go, cause you really seem to know how to carry on.
So guys, we're at Double Barrel Station, and what happens here is the engine goes from the front of the train and they move the engine round to the front. Double Barrel Station.
On a sunny day in late July and everything turned upside down. I almost lost track of time as weeks went by. I couldn't get him off my mind. I couldn't get.
And we've got
I went down the river.
Tasmanian bush dust and olive oil with a roll. 40 minutes return.
The train ride, it's now, we'll say 1:20, probably finished about 1300. We left at 8:30, closer to 9. Stopped at each of the stations along the way, and you got off for 20 minutes, stretch your legs, had toilet breaks and all that. The food was plentiful on there, a lot of food. It was good food. You only got one drink, but you could have as many coffees, hot chocolates or waters as you want for free. So water.
Yep.
But you had to pay, you got one free alcoholic drink and then the rest you had to pay for. But yeah, no, I thought it was good.
Yeah, that was good. So now we're at Hogarth Falls. It's a 40-minute return walk from the car park. It's a people's park just out of Strawn near the railway. A park for the people. Hogarth Falls. And what is it, babe?
One of Tasmania's 60 great short walks.
All right, here we go.
Him off my mind.
I can hear the water. Must be getting close.
So guys, that was Hogarth Falls. Like I said, 40-minute return walk from the car park. Not too bad of a waterfall. Great for some pics. The stream follows the path most of the way down. And here comes Dave behind me. What did you think of Hogarth Falls, babe?
Oh yeah. It's worth a 20-minute walk in and out, but I wouldn't want to walk any further.
There's so many beautiful waterfalls here in Tasmania, and you can't see them all.
Hey, we're down at the World Heritage Cruise in Strawn, and we're going to, it's about 8:27, I think we leave a bit after 8:30, and we head out. We go through Hell's Gate, which is out of the Heads, and then we also go to a place called Sarah Island, which is where the worst of the worst convicts got sent, and a couple actually escaped from there, and they made a movie called Van Diemen's Land where they actually eat each other, and yeah, that's history. But we'll take you for a look around the ship. It was $185
Per adult, yeah.
Per adult?
That includes lunch as well.
Yeah, they give you a bento box,
they call it, yeah.
and it's got all Tasmanian produce, so there's salmon, and there's all fruits and nuts and berries, and there's chicken and there's other stuff. It's all Tasmanian, so we'll give you a look at that as well when we get it. And they do cash only on the ship, or they prefer cash, because once you go 10 minutes out, you end up losing signal. Now there's two cruises. There's the one that we're on, the World Heritage Cruise, which is a big red boat, and there's the one behind us, which is a grey boat.
So this is our boat, World Heritage Cruises, on the wharf. And that's the other boat, the blue boat. That's the Gordon River Cruises boat. But hopefully the weather will hold out for us today. It's looking quite nice at the moment. Well, it's looking overcast, but there's no wind, so yeah.
So we'll show you around the boat.
With everything but each other, I honestly don't know. Don't tell me how we messed up, drifting away from each other, didn't want to let you go.
So they do have a few souvenirs on board. Rain jackets, stubby holders, the usual souvenir sort of stuff. And they do have like a little bar area where you can buy drinks, snacks, hot beverages, beers, wines. It's the menu.
We want different things and I have to deal with it, but it's not easy, so tell me how to let go, 'cause you really seem to know how to carry on. How to carry on.
The upper deck. Go and say hi to the captain. Captain's
Going into my wheelhouse.
Captain's not here.
You just sit up here. Here you go, look. I'm the captain.
Where is the captain?
I am the captain. Full steam ahead. So we're here on Sarah Island, Tasmania's oldest and most remote convict settlement. So this is where the worst of the worst come. So the repeat offenders, whilst over here as convicts, this is where they ended up. And the reason they settled around here was for all the hue and pine. So it operated for 12 years, 12,000 prisoners, from 1822 to 1833. Sarah Island was the most feared place of banishment for Tasmania's convicts, yet despite this reputation it became the most productive shipbuilding yard in Australia in its time. It's located on the far western edge of today's Tasmanian Wilderness World Heritage Area. Sarah Island was described as hell on earth. The authorities believed it to be a place from which escape would be impossible, with a seemingly impenetrable mountainous wilderness separating it from the newly settled districts in the east. They were wrong.
Welcome to Sarah Island, originally called Longa Verona by the Palawa. I'd like to acknowledge the original custodians of this land. And the west coast of Palau were mainly coastal people.
Of course, to us, Sarah Island is much better known for the 12 years that it was a penal settlement between 1822 and 1833. This was a settlement for secondary offenders. That means that if you were transported out from Britain and then sent to Hobart or Sydney and did not behave yourself, this is where you will be banished for a second sentence. And Sarah Island has a reputation of being the very worst, the most bloody, the most brutal, and the most dreaded of all of those secondary penal settlements. And stories of cannibalism come from this place. There were 36 buildings on the island all up. Most of those were timber with brick and sandstone fireplaces. So as we go wandering around the island today, we're going to see an awful lot of brick and sandstone fireplaces, like the ones behind you there. In fact, the building that was here was Government House, a row of 4 terrace cottages housing the commandant, doctor, military officer and the chaplain. And each of the cottages would have had 2 rooms with a central fireplace, a veranda along the front so that they could sit there and admire the beautiful view and their own personal private vegetable gardens out the back. The first commandant was here, was Lieutenant Cuthbertson, described as a sadistic bully with peculiar qualities, and he's said to have drowned off the island accidentally. Well, the story goes that a ship slipped its moorings out here during a storm, and the commandant took his own boat to go and rescue the vessel. But his boat overturned after hitting a wave, and the king and the crew are in the water. They're madly waving to shore for help, help, and all the convicts just waved back. 2 of the doctors here were more than slightly mad. And then you've got Dr. Garrett. He was a dipsomaniac, never sober the entire time he was on the island. Partially explained by the fact he was out here on his honeymoon with his 18-year-old wife Charlotte, who decided to bring her 7-year-old little sister Mary along on a honeymoon to a convict island. Worked that one out.
Anyone noticed that we passed by a lime pit there?
Yep.
Yeah, that's where they store the lime slurry. Limestone was actually found up the Golden River, and they quarried it, burned it, added water to slake it into a lime slurry, and kept it there in the pit and covered with water. The lime slurry was used to fertilize gardens, dispose of waste from the toilet, and if you mix it with sand, you will get mortar. Yeah. Most of the buildings on this island were made from timber, but this one is one of very few brick buildings. The bricks were made locally in Breakbakers Bay, which is 2 kilometers across the water that way. That's where they found clay. In 1827, 80,000 bricks were made, and probably most of them went to this building. Look at the outer walls, they're 1/2 meter thick. Why? Because this is a solitary confinement jail. You keep the prisoners in and light and sound out.
In 1825, 240 men received 10,000 lashes. That's extraordinary, isn't it? In fact, by 1825, the island's in a state of revolt. There are strikes in the work gangs. The convicts are attacking the military and each other, and there was a frenzy of desperate escape attempts. One of those escape attempts was a year before by our famous Tasmanian bushranging hero, the gentleman bushranger of Van Diemen's Land, Matthew Brady. Speaking of escape attempts, 180 escape attempts from the harbour. 1 in 5 was successful. James Goodwin escaped from a work camp up the Gordon River, headed into the Central Highlands and worked his way down to Hobart. It took him 6 weeks to reach the outskirts of Hobart, and he was immediately recognised and recaptured. Oh, they didn't send him back here. His description was so detailed that they assigned him to the Surveyor General's office to map out the Central Highlands. Yeah. 1 year later in 1829, so he escaped in 1828, a year later in 1829, word had got back to the convicts here. They knew all about Goodwin's escape route, thank you, and they also knew there was a really good escape route along the beaches up the coast. But by 1829, escape attempts from Sarah Island dropped to almost zero. We actually have to go back to 1826, 3 years earlier. 3 events occurred which were really significant for the island. The first was the arrival on the island of a new commandant, James Butler. He's a no-nonsense, efficient and very ambitious man. The second was a massive storm which blew up from the southwest and it washed along that side of the island, the other side of the island where all the docks, roadways, wharves and jetties were, and it washed them away completely. James Butler then instigated a 3-year forced labour period to rebuild the foreshore as we see it to this day, and every major structure still standing on the island, including this sandstone building here. It was 3 stories high. And to give you some idea of the true size, look at the wall facing the window, the wall with the window facing us. That's only the first floor of the building, all right? The tall wall you can see on the left-hand side indicates the height of the second story. In fact, the red bricks you can see in the middle of that wall are the back of the second story fireplace. The chimney's missing and so's the 3rd floor. So let's add at least 3 to 4 metres in height for the chimney, and that's level with the 3rd floor. No fireplace, the heat rose through the floorboards. You can see a sandstone block sticking out at the far wall, the tall wall on the far side. That indicates the entrance to the building, which was the main entrance on the 2nd story. 7 curved sandstone steps leading all the way up to the main entrance, which had false Doric columns carved into the sandstone on either side. Above the doorway, a massive lintel, and on top of that, massive semicircular sandstone block with the royal insignia carved intricately into that. Beautiful, elaborate building. In the Victorian era, the tourists used to call this building the old courthouse because it was so elaborate, but it was never used as such. This was the new penitentiary. It was a dormitory for about 80 to 90 convicts, and the convicts tell us this building was a comfortable place to sleep. That building was almost virtually intact right up to the roof peak up until the 1920s, and then a miner from Queenstown came out here with a load of dynamite and blew the building to smithereens. We don't know why. We suspect he had convicts in his ancestry and was trying to obliterate any evidence that they'd ever been here. Of course, in the 1920s, you did not acknowledge if you had convicts in your family. Nowadays, it's a sign of convict royalty.
So this is our lunch you get on board World Heritage Cruises. There's some chicken, salmon, brownie, some local Tasmanian cheeses, bread roll, but it's all Tasmanian products. What do you think, Dave?
Yeah, I'll eat everything from here around. I won't touch that.
And our view today.
Hey guys, so that was the cruise on the
World Heritage Cruises.
and Strawn. We went all over the Macquarie Harbour, we went out to Hell's Gate, we went up the Gordon River and we got to have a look at a salmon and trout farm just from above the water.
We did get off at a place called Heritage Landing and have a look around at in the wilderness, the tropical rainforest wilderness, and we also got off at Sarah Island.
Yeah, Sarah Island was pretty cool. The guide was so funny and very, very knowledgeable, but really worth it, and the food was pretty good too. Bit of local fresh salmon, some chicken done in pesto stuff, but Roz will flick a photo up and you can see
some local cheeses, but you do have to buy your own drinks when you are on board, or you bring a drink bottle you can refill. Was there a refill station? Because I saw heaps of people with bottles.
No, didn't see a refill station, but there's upstairs and downstairs and you pay different prices accordingly. Now there's no difference in upstairs and downstairs, except upstairs get morning tea given to them, whereas downstairs you got to buy it. Now you got to pay for it even if you are upstairs anyway in the overall price.
We took a box of like barbecue shaped sort of things as a snack anyway, and you can take your own drink bottles or some drinks.
And they have a bar and stuff there that you can buy stuff. Couldn't take cash, no card. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. But you can even sit in the middle as opposed to sitting on the windows. However, if you sit in the middle and you're a group of more than 2, or you are only two, you're going to end up with other people sitting with you for the whole cruise. You do not have to stay in your seat, so just your assigned seat, so that you can come back and eat and sit, rest, sleep, recline the chair, do what you want to do. You can get up and sit up on top of the boat, you can sit at the back of the boat, or you can go out to the front of the boat. Anyway guys, that was the river cruise down in Strawn.
No, there's two.
Yeah, right.
This is James Porter. Everybody say, "G'day, Jimmy."
G'day! This here is William Shaw's. Everyone say, "G'day, Bill."
The three sailor boys, John Davy, John Fair and John Jones, they sailed the ship beautiful. Apart from that, they didn't know what was going on.
They still don't.
Yeah.
They Sir William Cheshire and Charlie Lyon are meant to be here. Where are they?
Oh, I think they're still down the pub.
They've been there since Christmas.
Yeah, 1834.
1838, more like. Yeah. We're not likely to see that pair again, eh?
No, that's true.
Could you find a couple of...
Right,
We'll
I'll
bring
do
in for them. A lightly looking, evil, wicked, horrible looking pair.
Real robes.
Yeah. Now, there are three to take some explaining. John Barker, James Leslie and Benjamin Russin. John Barker was a gunsmith, real file. Fight to every push on the board. I'm not going to say it's nice to see you, because it's not. You left your hat behind last time we saw you vanishing into the vasty distance. I got a bone to pick with you about that little caper later. See how you can do that one-handed, baby, yeah? All right, now, there we go. Pop that one on your head. There we are, transformation. Then there's James Leslie.
Now, he was a nice lad.
A nice lad. James Leslie, we're a bragger. You're a boaster. Always claim you're a shipwright. Didn't you, boy? Hey, Ben, whose side are you on today?
Neither.
No! Oh! Right then, I'm keeping my eye on you.
Neither side.
Right then, here we are, all present and correct.
Right, so I'd like to welcome your worships to this appeal and quasi-legal inquiry
But what are you talking about?
a quasi-legal inquiry on behalf of myself and my fellow mutineers and pirates.
Ah, I can do pirates. That's what I am good at. Arr! Shiver me timbers, me hearties and all, and arr! Pieces of tech.
What are you doing?
The parrot's gone decimal.
It's supposed to be serious.
You said it was going to be a pantomime.
No, I said those pants are mine. Who's the parrot? Potter and me, and Cheshire and Lions. Boo!
Did you see that? Lion was booing himself.
Well, we're 4 of the 10 who nabbed the good ship Frederick. Last ship built on Sarah's Island. January 1834 we nabbed her, and we don't deny that we nabbed her.
Nah, in fact, we're rather proud of that, ain't we? Ain't we? Yeah, Barker?
Yeah, but here's the catch, you see, because 4 years later, Porter and me in Cheshire and Lions are back here in Van Diemen's Land, back to face the music.
Which doesn't sound too good. Yeah. We've been found guilty of piracy and mutiny. We're up for a scragging.
Yeah.
All right, you're going to watch our little tale, and if you think it's worth taking to the judge, you're going to give a thumbs up yes, okay? So everyone, thumbs up yes, practice, there we go, thumbs up. If you think it's a load of poppycock, it means it's a scrag, there will be no practicing any of that. I saw you, don't you think I didn't see you? Yeah.
One in every crowd.
So, we're going to tell you the real story.
Not some official trumped-up version of Make Captain Bloody Tory look good. You know, I'm surprised you've shown your face in here, Skipper. No, we are not telling your story. That were a pack of lies, mate. A pack of lies. We're going to tell my story, all right? My story is the one I've been writing down in Hobart Jail this past 2 years. David Hoy, Master Shipwright, out there on Sarah Island, it was him told me to write your story down, James.
Write the story down, James.
Me, sir, I can't even read, sir.
Well, learn.
What, me? Like reading and writing?
Why not?
Oh, why not, indeed. So I did. Oh, I learned reading and writing, and I've written the story down. Not one wrinkle, not one word of a lie.
Not one wrinkle. Gone clean, Porter.
Well, I changed a few little details.
Yeah. Heave ho! Heave ho! Heave ho! Heave ho! And no!
You lot weren't very helpful. Yeah. Tell you what, how about we'll do the physical stuff and you guys do the heave-hos, yeah? All right, let's give that a go, shall we, Shies?
Right.
All right, now, hold on a second. Here we go. All right, and...
Heave-ho! 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 Heave-ho!
And of glorious liberty. Some lads can then by England's hand sail to an even shore. Their love won't and their country they were never to see more.
Now, where are those two lads gone? I've just got a couple of pirates here. It's amazing what you can do with a pair of knickers, isn't it?
If you're going to be pirates, you have to sound fierce and piratical. So when you say yes, you're going to go, I. Give it a go. I. That's very good. When you say no, you go, nay. Give it a go. Nay! Alright, now let's see if we can follow this up by creeping up on Mr. Barker while he be unawares.
Mr. Barker, can you be unawares?
That's good. Go on.
Hey, cut!
What now?
Not enough dramatic tension.
What are you talking about?
Well, they need to creep in time to the music.
No, can't hear any.
Yeah, from the orchestra.
We haven't got an orchestra. Look, see?
Yeah, we do. We got this lot.
Right,
the music, you know, the creepy music that's in all the scary movies, alright? Go like this. Da-da, 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 da-da.
Shooters! It occurs to me at this moment in time you didn't know what was going on.
No.
You weren't even here for this bit, were you?
No.
No, rack off. Mr. Barker, are you unawares?
I'm unawares.
Mr. Barker, if you were unawares, you wouldn't have answered me. Harry, this is an action sequence. So I need lots of squawking and beeping from you. Okay? And everyone else is the orchestra. On the count of 4. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. He's so surprised he unawares he dropped his phone. That was good, lads. Get back up here. Look back. Now, Mr. Barker, you haven't done a single tap of work on this ship in a whole week.
I don't plan to.
Oh, right, yeah. Hear this, everyone? Mr. Barker claims that he was ordered, mind you, to work on Corporal Dearman's muskets. You weren't ordered, you volunteered, because these lads heard you, didn't you, lads? Yeah. We practice this, lads. Yes is I. And nay, no is nay. Remember that? Smart ass. Look threatening, lads, look threatening. Mr. Barker, are you a conk? A nose? Are you setting us up for piracy and mutiny and going to turn King's evidence?
For me to find out.
Are you going to earn yourself a pardon, are you? Ah, that's what we think, isn't it, lads? Yeah? From Sweden or something like that. Rightio, Mr. Barker, I need you to hand sanitise. Okay? Just sit down there. There we go, hand sanitise. And then I need you to open this up nice and slow and bug over what you've been working on while voluntarily working on Corporal Dearman's muskets. You two guard me back, I don't trust him. And Parrot, a big squawk when we see what it is, okay? All right, come on, mate, I've got dinner arrangements. Let's get on with it. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, we could be here forever, sorry. Oh, well done, Parrot. Wow, look at that. Look at that, everyone. Is that not a beauty? It is, it is. Where did you get that from, Mr.
Oh, where the sun don't shine.
Oh, that's what I thought. Okay, you two, just drop down here for a second. Come down. Drop your weapons. I'd like to point out to you two lads that Mr. Barker here is a gunsmith. And being a gunsmith, I'd like you to guess what he's just done.
Shot someone.
Not shot someone.
Bought a gun.
Not bought one.
I made one.
He's a gunsmith, so he made it. Well done. That's good. You've got a lot to learn. Mr. Barker has made a gun secretly while voluntarily working on Corporal Dearman's muskets. Corporal Dearman, you knew nothing about this, did you?
Well, I don't know really.
Yeah, he doesn't know. And I told you, Leslie, that Johnny Barker here was bang up the mark, didn't I, lads? No, that's the wrong answer.
Hey!
Hey! You two didn't believe me, did you? No. Yeah, that's good. Down on your bended knees and apologise to Mr. Barker. Down. Hands together. And a big I'm sorry, Mr. Barker.
I'm sorry, Mr. Barker.
You need to do better than that.
I'm afraid that's all we've got time for. Stand up, lads. Hands out. Keep your hats on. Not another word out of the pair of you. Get back to your seats.
What shall do is...
And Corporal Dearman's half a mile away. Fishing. What's he doing? Fishing. All right, freeze. Because at that moment, Captain Tor finishes his cup of tea. Oh, okay. Well, get up out of your cabin chair then. Get up. Leslie, can you point the musket at him? That's it. Grab the end. Come on, get up. Grab the end of the musket and you start to struggle. Ooh! Ah! Ooh! Ah! All the time the jellyfish is the cat's scratching. Billy Nichols gets hold of the tomahawk out of Leslie's hand. Grab it. Hold it up where we can see it. Ah! You don't mean to do this next bit. It's accidental.
Kill the cat.
You accidentally step backwards towards the cat. It scratches you down the leg. You fling yourself that way. Whack Captain Tor on the head with the tomahawk. Captain Tor fell slowly in that.
Skip the cat.
Quickly and dramatically into his cabin chair. When we greet the governor of Valdivia, we need to greet him with what is known as a Chilean wave. It's like a Mexican wife, exactly, but it's bigger. It comes from further south. When you do that, shout out a few Irish things like top of the morning to you.
Diddly-dee potatoes.
Thank you, diddly-dee potatoes. I like that. What about to be sure. Oh, a pint of Guinness. Here he is, the governor of Valdivia.
Oh, to be sure.
I am waiting for my wife. She would be worth £1,000. The British Navy turn up in the bloody river. What do I do? Oh, you, fetch out the Esmeralda. What do I bloody do? I have been given these bloody orders. Don't let the bloody British up the bloody river. Fire the bloody cannon if you bloody have to. But don't do any bloody damage. They're bloody trouble with the great bloody Britain.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that little video. We showed you little snippets of a play that has been running for 35 years, I believe. It's the longest running play in Australia. Now,
the lady that did the play, it was her father that actually wrote the play. And she's been doing it for 20-something years. But anyway, we just showed you little snippets. It was quite a hilarious night, and every night is a different night because they pick different people out of the crowd. It depends on how those people react to how the play goes. Anyway, it's that time again, joke time with Dave. I'm going to give you two tonight. I'm feeling very comical. So, the first one. Hey, Roz.
Yeah, Dave.
What do you get when you put your hand in a blender of milk?
I don't know.
A handshake. And, hey, Roz.
Mm-hmm.
I was driving up the Great Ocean Road and I saw a man pushing a shopping trolley up the hill. In the shopping trolley, he had horseshoes, 4-leaf clovers, and rabbit's feet. I think he was pushing his luck. Catches.